Hello, welcome back to Leaf's Odyssey. Last episode, we started working on sacrifice altars, and this episode we're going to continue playing around with them. So yeah, we got a pretty cool bunch of setups yesterday? Last time I played, which would have been yesterday. But for the upload schedule, it would not have been yesterday, it would have been like 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, depending on when this episode comes out. Anyway, yeah, so let's move on with sacrifice altars. These sacrifice altars activate these toggle doors when something dies on them. So essentially what I'm trying to look for is to get this eye, to get rid of each of these one at a time. Statue could be last, but doesn't necessarily have to be. The statue could get on one of the altars while the other one does. I think the most interesting thing here will be the slug. The bug should be easy now, the snake is easy, the statue should also be easy. I'm pretty sure this... Okay. The statue might not be that easy though. Yeah, see, because that kind of thing happens. See? So it's more like, yeah, the statue isn't that easy at all. I can get the statue to very barely be on a different axis, a different row as me. And that's generally how I want the eye to work. But if it's on the same row as me, it's a lot harder to make it work. The slug is also another challenge. The slug will turn and walk around this edge. I don't exactly understand how I might get the slug onto one of these. Theory, I probably maybe want the... Yeah, I might want the statue. See, the issue is I have no idea how to get the statue to work with me either. See, so like... This is the only time I can ever get a discrepancy. Actually, if I did this... Ooh, if I did this, the statue wouldn't wake up until I needed it to wake up. Interesting. Even if it did, I think that would still be an issue, right? Okay, but I can work on everything else first of all. That thing remains open, and I can close it as I wish. The same really works for most of these. I can actually get rid of them without them facing me directly. The only two that are actually of importance in that regard are the bombard and the statue. Those are the only ones with lines of sight. Still, no idea how to get the slug here, but maybe I want the statue to be here for the slug to turn around. Okay. Whoa, no. Let's get that to happen first. You do this. Okay. I can't get that far down though. If I were a little further here. Okay, I think it might be a lot easier because I realized if I did this, I can get you here in a pretty quick amount of time. That might actually help with this. If I released you at the earliest possible moment, I released you around now, I can get this thing to happen. So if I can wait a bit more, I can maybe time it in such a way that this comes up to block in time. That's definitely still too early. So I'll wait a bit more. Maybe now? No? Okay, actually that just now it might have been actually a bit late, in fact. Yeah, okay. Okay, what about now? No? How much earlier should I have been? What? Oh, you know, I can always shift you forward a bit to block earlier. Okay, so that's actually fine. I do want you to be later then. Maybe now? No? Earlier? No, even more, I think. No. Alright, so not as late. So now, maybe? This is kind of janky. No, this blocks because the slug moves first. Alright, even earlier then. Okay. Good, good. Okay, I can get the slug to get rid of like so if I were earlier. That opens one. Why is the snake facing up at that point in time? What? Why does it turn around? Is it because moving up gets it closer to me in terms of which axis, I guess? Unless it can move over. That's a very interesting idea. Okay. Still. Okay. I think the next thing I want to do is actually get this statue to kind of be blocked up by something. The bug seems to be the next best thing that I can release. Issue is I can't really get... I guess this is fine. No, I do like that this happens because you move first before you. By moving down, you technically see me and move forward first. So that's really interesting. If I can do that... the bug can't really get into this area though, because the bug can never move backwards. Okay, in reality the bug has to only exist, you know, in this area-ish. That's really interesting. Okay. Okay, I do realize that a lot easier would actually be to use the... No? A lot easier would be to use the slug to be positioned in the right place. To bet the slug into there, and the bug... yeah. How else can I get... Ah! Aha. If I got the slug to be somewhere here, for example, the bug, I mean, I can get a slight delay, I think. So let's get the bug to face away. The bug can act as a blocker. Yeah, to make some sort of discrepancy, like so. So by being unable to move diagonally here because of the bug's position, it moves there instead, which creates that buffer in that row that I was talking about. Okay. How easily can I make this work? Well, if I wanted the statue to be here or here, the bug kind of has to be, as you can see, an L shape away. So the bug either has to be here or here. So, alright, let's see if I can make some marks there. We'll place a mark here, maybe a circular mark. Another circular mark. So this will mark the positions where the bug should be for the statue to work. Once the statue is there... Let's say the statue is there, right? I'm pretty sure the bug exploding will get rid of the statue. So in reality, to get you to die on one of these, I probably want... a statue here and the bug here. If that is so, then the bug has to be there. An L shape away. Okay. That's good. Okay. Now I can get you out. I do find it slightly interesting though that now the slug might be facing some issues. Okay. So I mean, yeah, this is where you can be. Am I waiting? I'm not really waiting. In fact, yeah, I can't really wait. I don't like this fact. I can get rid of those two things like so. But I suppose the snake can exist here, right? If the snake exists here... Can't really get you in time though. Yeah, just a bit slow. Okay, but there are a few problems to this, aren't there? We know that the bug must exist in one of these two spots. Or something has to exist in one of these two spots. I guess it could be a snake. The main idea I want here is I want something to be able to stand here and not move. The only thing that can really do that is the bug. But I can't really get the bug into the right position afterwards to get the statue. So really, if I were to imagine, I would have to make it you, right? Yeah, that's the only issue, is I can't. This is the sort of thing that would just happen. So it's like the bug has to do all the jobs, but the bug can't do all the jobs. I got the bug back down here. The bug has to get the statue there. The bug has to get rid of that so that the slug can make it. Okay, question, can I get the slug, oh not the slug, the flying snake to do this for me? How do I get the flying snake to actually get on any of those first? Maybe let's consider that. How will the flying snake make it onto there? I did say it was fairly easy, but it's actually not. Yeah, it's like I need you to be stopped against something again. So, okay, in fact, these spaces, these slots over here seem to maybe be even better for the bug. Because not only does it allow the statue, I believe, to have some weird diagonal discrepancy. I don't like that. Okay, well I can always set a diagonal discrepancy. Like I can always do this first, so that when I go back and forth, okay. Okay. Actually, that might just work for us. That seems really interesting. I do realize that this bug is pretty gone. And also, I don't like the fact that that happens. So I can get it to move in this vertical axis, which is kind of cool. There are some issues with that though. Because even if it did move in this vertical axis, which I can control, how would I get it to move in this vertical axis? It looks like I want something to be in here. Slug? Possibly? Slug? But to get the slug, I will need the bug to be maybe here? That's plausible. The snake can't actually be anywhere here either. And in fact, the slug actually doesn't need something here. It really only needs something here to make it through. That is the issue though, because if it were here... if the snake were to try and move in a vertical axis... Okay. I can do something like that. Alright, so... what I can do for this snake to move here is if I had a stopper of some kind. So let's say I had a stopper here. I can do some sort of horizontal shuffling to get you to move in this vertical. And if your horizontal shuffling were a lot further forward, I do find that an interesting idea. Obviously, it probably wouldn't work if there was a statue on it. And the bug is right now too far gone. So now, the issue comes from finding a replacement for this bug. I think the slug is the best idea. The slug is the only thing that can actually move backwards in the shooting range. Everything else, once moved forward, cannot be returned backwards, which makes it very challenging. But okay, what I can try and do is I can actually try and... what do I want the slug to be? Oh, you know what? No. It's fine. It's fine. Actually, it's not very fine, is it? I was trying to do this sort of funny thing, but I did realize that I can't really do any sort of shuffle to get the snake in front of us in this row. There has to be some sort of blocker in front to do that trick. Yeah, there has to be some sort of blocker in front. And, you know, this death will always occur two in front of it. So if the blocker was here... you know what? If the blocker was here... huh, okay. If the blocker was here... yeah, that's a bit front, but... kinda doesn't really work because... that seems to be somewhat good, but the bug is now too far forward. I'll try to do this without the statue rubble. The statue rubble can't be in front, because if it were in front, then nothing can really get rid of it. I need the bug to get rid of it while on the sacrifice altar, see? So I need the bug to be here. The bug has to end up here. Is it... okay, is it still possible for you to die here, is my question. Maybe it still is. Okay, if I waited a bit... see, you go a little too far forward. So then, like, this sort of happens if the bug isn't here. Whereas if it were in front, it would work, because the bug always moves first. Yeah, dude, this is kind of annoying. This is bad. This is really bad. I don't know if I can ever get the statue to be... I think the answer might be yes, if I got the bug to maybe block the slug like this and make it go in circles. No, wrong thing. So slug just goes like this, and then I can maybe actually time a statue death. Then the final issue would be making sure that the slug actually gets in the right spot as well. So that's also another issue which I need to solve. I have not yet solved the slug issue. Okay, how am I gonna time this? Okay, how much time do I can always wait here. No, I need to wait here. And the slug needs to be... slug needs to be down to 4. So I wait 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is actually kind of late. That sucks. Why did I think this would work? Huh, I don't know why I thought this would work. The slug needs to be... Actually, the slug... Oh, you know what? Wait, hold on. No. It's still an issue. But I do think the slug might benefit being slightly in front. Okay, that's way too late. Okay, I don't want to count though, but... No, this is too late again. Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing I want. There is just a tiny issue now. And that tiny issue is that... Okay, well I can solve that first issue by first closing that, obviously. Although, if I kept you open, you could turn around and be blocked like this. Maybe that's good? Actually, that's really bad. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that would be good, because now I can't turn on anything. I'm gonna close you up. The main idea is I want the bug to sort of turn like this. But I can never get that bug to really... It needs to stop the slug, otherwise how can the slug ever turn again? It cannot. Like... Right? But now it's stuck on the outside ring, and I'm pretty sure I can't get it back into the things. So it's stuck, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how the snake, if we kept it alive, could have done anything. How do I get the snake here in this column and moving vertically? It needs to stop here. It needs to have a stopper here and then turn around to move, right? But that clearly probably wouldn't work. How to get the slug? Actually, if the slug... I want to say if the slug were 1 in front, maybe I would have a chance. But how do I ever get a slug 1 in front? It doesn't seem to make any sense to get it 1 in front. Just gonna do that. But That's clearly not gonna work. I guess that's like the best I can do right now. I don't know about this at all. I'm just not sure. I mean, yeah, I could get everything to blow up at once, but that only gets one thing open and not two. And it can't really blow up two things at the same time because that would just turn this off and on, which doesn't change anything. It's not how it's gonna turn. Okay, so what is our plan? I'm gonna save this and say 3 out of 4 opened. Alright, so we're gonna save that and we're gonna get back to that if we ever get some new insight. But right now I want to reset and start here again. See, I don't know, the snake should be able to help us with this final step, right? But the issue is that what can the snake do? Is the snake helping us? I don't know what the snake can do. If I can open you while the snake maybe is trying to chase me. Okay. I can use the snake as a vertical blocker. Right, so... Okay, so... Again... Let's have you move up here. Let's open the snake here. Open you. You are now a... vertical blocker for this. Yeah, it's not really gonna work out for us, but I do realize you can do some fancy stuff blocking each other. There's still some sidestepping going on here, but that's interesting. That's interesting. That's actually really interesting. Look at that. Can do that and keep the snake alive. Okay, if I could do that in column 1 earlier. Which seems to be doable. No, wrong one. That is wrong. It needs to be down here. Yeah, look at that. So, that's one way I can do that while keeping the snake alive. And that bug still looks pretty solidly in place. We are kind of trapped though. Because... yeah, that rubble is gonna be a problem for the snake. I can use this as a stopper now, but that kind of was a problem already and now is even larger of an issue. This, okay, no, that was using the snake to help the statue, but can I use the statue to help the snake? How we got the snake to work the last time was to get it in a vertical position, then do something like this. You need to be one forward though. Wait, I gotta get you face up first so that you don't get moved around. So that's how I sort of got Wait, hold on. Right, I was thinking why this bug was needed, but it's to get into this vertical thing. Can I use a statue for this purpose? And I think if I got you up here really early, maybe yes. Okay, I do want some delay though. Maybe here's fine? Whoa, what? Okay. I don't like this sort of thing that's going on. Is it gonna happen? No. But yeah, this happens in those cases. Okay, if I got the bug to first phase up to sort of have some delay, that is better. What am I doing again? Using the statue to help the snake. It looks like the statue might have to come out first, actually, for this to work out. No. Actually, if I open that first, hold on. Maybe this is fine? Okay, that got some interesting looking system. I do like how that snake allows this statue to move basically horizontally consistently. Maybe we're slightly higher? No. Okay. What is that? Ooh. Huh. Okay, wait, look at this. That gets the snake to move in that column. So if I got this to happen a little further over... Actually, I think this is the same idea as... Oh, this is the same idea. The statue doesn't actually help. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, the statue doesn't need to do that. Okay. Okay, hold on, wait, what did the statue? Wait, hold on. How did the statue do that? What was I trying to do again? I don't even know what I was trying to do again. I'm trying to make sure that that bug doesn't move too much. That does look very interesting. That does help this. That does slightly help the snake. How did I do it just now? I did that. Why did that work? Oh, the statue does help the snake here, because if I move down, the snake moves horizontally. But that's bad. Like, that gets the statue very stuck. Statue helping snake was a bad idea. Statue helping snake was a horrendous idea. But that's only something I can actually just do if the snake was there. Although I think if the bug was there, actually, could I actually also afford to do that? It would be helpful. Maybe if the slug? It would be helpful if there was something here to sort of block. You know, if the slug was here. I don't want the slug to be... See, the problem with that is that the bug... How do I get the bug... How do I get the slug in? How would I get the slug in? It can't be last, right? Because we already tried doing that. We can't get the... Well, we can get the slug in, but not last, right? Because the statue. The statue leaves a rubber in one of these, requiring a bomb to get rid of it. If that was so, the bomb will be unable to redirect the slug. Therefore, because we know the snake cannot redirect the slug, probably. Actually, what if I tested another idea? If the snake weren't in the way there, I can theoretically actually get the snake to come back. It's just that, you know, the bug is kind of away now. You know what that actually might just mean? That might just mean if I manage to get... That's the issue with the... No. This actually does get the snake in place. Wow. Wow, that does get the snake to sort of be in place here. And if I moved you slightly, I can have this weird fancy thing work. The bug is still there. How would that help? Again, this doesn't solve the problem of the slug right now. If the slug were to work, I think I have an idea. I can actually get rid of it very early on if it is not going to help. I don't should restart. If it's not going to help with us, then it's only its existence. then its existence must be an obstacle. In which case, doing this gets it there very easily. And I know there's a lot of extra space, extra slime, but hopefully it will not be an issue. Okay, hold on, I'll only get you. Alright, there you go, that's one. Now the bug can maybe safely stand where it should stand. Snake. Yeah, I know, no, this is good, this is good. We know we can get the snake in individually. Okay. We can get the statue in with the bug. Can I get them with the snake? We managed to get all without the slug, right? So I think the answer is yes, we can actually get it. Needs to be better placed, so actually here. No, it needs to be... Where does the bug need to be? One in front and facing away? Whoa, not here. Here. Yes. Yes. Good. Now statue can come out. Oh wait, no, isn't this the issue? How do I get this to work again? No, this is exactly fine. This is exactly what we wanted. And that means that with this final move, we're done. Okay, there it is. So the main idea that I missed was that the slug goes first. I thought I had to use the slug for something, which is why I left it without killing it first. Whereas it should have been the first thing to be killed. Okay, that was a puzzle. Jeez, this was like, what, 40 minutes for this puzzle. That took forever. Oh, okay, and rightfully, that was the final puzzle in this section. Okay, cool. That means we can now obtain our first star key. The star key will be used at the very top of the tower to unlock those two. We need both star keys, so that means we have to do the second section as well. I'm assuming this comes up from the top, which is where this comes from. Look at the map. 1, 2... How will... Oh, there's an exit here. Whoa, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 puzzles? So this goes to the left first, and then up, and then over, and then around. Possibly. Hey, there's your stars apart. These are in fact 2 stars apart. Actually, no, the level is called stars apart, because these 2 star keys are apart. I guess, yeah, these waypoints are also star-shaped, which are apart, so fair enough. I also like that you can actually see through each of these with windows. Anyway, so we're done with that. Can I access... What can I access? The Tau Plaza, I think, is the fastest way to get to the next section. So yeah, next episode we'll be moving on to the next section here, which would be Invincible. So yeah, we'll move on to this next episode. Okay. Cool. This was pretty satisfying to solve. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave this episode with 1 puzzle solved. Alright, good enough. Yeah, until next time though. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.